Hello you guys, my name is Kim and bienvenidos to a timeless reading meant to inform you about what is next for you in your immediate future. Now, because this is a timeless reading, these messages, if they do resonate with you, they may apply from whenever you happen to be watching this reading. So if you are already looking at the options and you're finding out that you aren't being really drawn to any of them, that is totally fine. Don't force yourself to pick a group, because it might signify that at this moment in time, these messages will not really resonate with where you are currently in your journey. So if you feel called to come back to this reading at a later time, at a different phase or stage of your journey, then I do recommend for you to do so. Okay, but now let us take a closer look at the options. Option 1, the bat. Option 2, the spider. Option 3, the horse. Please take a moment to cast your gaze upon the options, meditate on them to find out which one you are drawn to the most, because the one that you are drawn to will be the reading for you. To skip on over to your reading, please select the timestamp of your chosen group. The timestamps will be provided in both the description box as well as the pinned comment in the comment section down below. But now that you have chosen, let's get right into your messages. Let's go! Hello you guys who chose group 1, bienvenidos to your reading. So the very first message I received when connecting with this group's energy was ushering something in, something new. Okay, so I definitely feel like at this moment you are attracting and are calling in something that you want, something that you need, or will assist you either to move things along or get you unstuck or find a solution to a problem that you might be currently dealing with. Yeah, so in other words, I see you aligning or coming into alignment with something that you need. But in terms to what is next for you, we have the first house with Venus in Aries and the key term lust. So we do have a chameleon here in the illustration, and that makes me think of adaptability. It makes me think of change. It makes me think of experiencing something new. So I do see you entering into new environments. Some of you could be either switching to a new job, or what is next for you is getting employed, or if you are currently working, this could be a leveling up at your current workplace, like a promotion, or it could be something like stepping into a new role. The chameleon also makes me think of stepping into new social circles. And because we do have this energy of Aries, which is all about assertion, putting yourself out there, I do see you meeting new people. The first house is all about the self and how others perceive us. So I do see you making a lot of new connections and socializing quite a bit. Venus makes me think of extroversion and being quite the social butterfly. So if you currently resonate with being more of an introvert or being asocial or being very selective as to who you connect and interact with, who you open up to, because we do have someone here showing up in their birthday suit, so that makes me think of vulnerability. I see you maintaining that discernment, being selective as to who you allow into your inner circle, as to who you choose to open up to, be raw and vulnerable with. Yet I do see you being a lot more social, so being a lot more open to meet new people or stepping into environments or situations that would require for you to socialize, to network. Because honestly, that's the overall vibe I am getting here. I do see you being seen by many. This person in their birthday suit is making me think of exposure, of visibility. So for those of you who are in a line of work that having visibility, having positive exposure would benefit you a lot, would help propel you forward in your career, in your profession, or will help bring in a lot more profit. I do see you gaining positive exposure. And with the chameleon, I do feel like because of this visibility and exposure, you yourself are going to be exposed to new energies, new personalities, new ways of interacting. It could even be new cultures, like I said, new environments, and new kind of relationship dynamics. Because what is coming through is business partnerships, collaborations. There's also something here about sponsorships or investors. But with the key term lust and the first house showing up here, I'm also seeing something like admirers, interacting with admirers, or possibly even fans, because for some of you who this will apply, I do see you garnering or gaining some kind of following. Now, because we do have this volcano erupting and we do have the planet Venus, which I personally associate with art and creativity, I do see you tapping into and or exploring more of your creative side. I see you channeling your creative energy, which could also be sexual energy. Sexual, creative energy go hand in hand, depends on how we channel it, how we work with it. So in this case, I see you channeling your sexual, sacral energy into creative works or creative ideas, or in bringing something to life, or into your work, whatever your work might be. This could even be channeling this sexual creative energy into your studies if you're currently a student, because I see this sacral energy being used as fuel, the fuel that will help you get something done, that will keep you going, the fuel that will propel you forward. So one thing that you can expect is for you to have a lot more energy and feel a lot more encouraged to work on the things that you need to get done, especially work on the things that inspire you, because I do see you being inspired. It could be by your work, it could be by a creative passion, it could be by your studies, or it could be by life in general, the beauty that you see around. Now, Venus in Aries is also making me think of confidence. So I do see you feeling more confident. And what is coming through in specific is that you will be exploring your confidence. So I see you trying new things when it comes to self-expression, like possibly trying new ways to, so this could be in your wardrobe, in your fashion style. It could be in the way that you do your hair, the way that you do your makeup if you wear makeup, the way that you accessorize. It could even be in the perfumes, the scents that you wear, kind of dipping your toe into new waters to try and find out what sits right with you, what you feel comfortable with, what you will be willing to explore more of, and so forth. So expect a few changes when it comes to your aesthetic, your fashion style, and what you feel comfortable with, what you feel okay with. Yeah, so something that you can expect is for you to try out the things that in the past you were quite hesitant about because of insecurities. So what is next for you is you pushing through some of your insecurities, especially when it comes to your physical appearance, when it comes to your physical vessel, your body, and so forth. But we have the number 15, the devil, which is associated with the zodiac sign Capricorn. And we also have the Page of Pentacles, which is also an earth sign. So Capricorn, Virgo, and or Taurus. So I like how we have this person reading a book in the Page of Pentacles, because this makes me think of learning something new. It also makes me think of arts, different kinds of creative outlets and or mediums. So I do see you delving more into the arts. I do see you finding new ways of expressing yourself through creative outlets. I also see you consuming a lot more art and being inspired by that. You could find yourself reading a lot more. It could be books, it could be articles. And if you are already an avid reader, what is next for you is you exploring new genres. It could even be something like trying a new form of reading. For example, for those of you who enjoy reading physical books, what is next for you is you delving into e-readers, ebooks, maybe reading more online or reading through an e-reader device. Or if you are someone who likes to read, you could be trying out audiobooks and enjoying this new format, because that's what I see with the Key Term Lust. You enjoying and taking pleasure in these new discoveries, in these new approaches, in these new ways of doing things. Because pages always speak of newness. Pages are the youngest of the court cards. So this makes me think of a beginner's energy. Yeah, so as mentioned, for a lot of you, what is next for you is you learning something new. You could be enrolling in a course, taking a class, or self-learning, self-studying. But for those of you who are already students, I see you delving more into your studies. So there could be a class that you are really going to be very passionate about, or a subject, a topic that I see you really delving into and diving deep into because you're very, very interested in this. And this could be the very thing that would help you come to realize what it is that you want to pursue full on, or what it is that you want to learn more of. Possibly even major in or minor in, or be an apprentice of. Because we do have the devil here, and the devil speaks about commitments and contracts. But the devil is very intense, which again reminds me of passion. Like being very passionate about something, wanting to learn the intricacies, the minor details of something that really, really sparks your curiosity. Now, because of the devil's intensity, it can often represent attachments and obsessions. So what is next for you guys is a period in which you are going to be fully focused on, it could be a goal, it could be an interest, and or a passion of yours. Because this pentacle here in the Page of Pentacles is making me think of a goal you're holding near and dear. So, for example, for those of you who are students, I see there being a period in which you're fully focused on your studies. Like you're going hard at it and you're learning a lot. You're actually either developing some kind of skill or developing a habit. But I see this being something positive for you. Like, for example, if you get into reading, like you might become a very proficient reader, or you might get into the habit of reading a chapter or two right before going to bed. You might get into the habit of annotating or looking up words that you don't know the meaning of, and that helps you expand your vocabulary. Yeah, so there could be new study habits that you will be forming that will help you later on in your education. So that was just an example. But I do see you guys becoming a lot more confident in either a subject, a topic, maybe a specific field, because you are gaining a lot of experience from it, because you are putting in a lot of hours. So it's not like confidence that happens overnight just because. It's confidence that you're gaining through experience, through you becoming familiar and comfortable with something. And the beautiful thing about this is that this confidence comes so naturally because it's happening gradually. In other words, I don't see you struggling with it because you're having a really good time throughout the process. Like you're more invested in what you're doing. You're not worried about gaining this confidence. At least I don't see that being the aim. So you're just doing your thing. You're just following your passion, your joy, the thing that lights you up. And then next thing you know, you find yourself in a social setting speaking confidently about this topic that you've been invested in for the last couple of weeks. You find yourself with all this knowledge that you didn't even know you had stored in your brain. Because all this time you weren't thinking about learning, you were simply consuming the content because you enjoyed it. And it was being easily stored in your brain because you were having fun throughout the whole process, because you were actually interested in this. So I see you gaining a lot from this experience, and I don't see you struggling with it, in other words. Because the devil, even though the devil has a bad rep, the devil is all about fun. It's all about lust. It's all about pleasure. So I see you having a lot of fun with whatever it is that you're investing your time and energy in. But with the Page of Pentacles here, this card brings a lot of stability into this overall spread. So this lets me know that whatever you're finding pleasure in, it's something that's actually productive, healthy, and helpful for you, not only for the now, but also for the long run. Because the Page of Pentacles makes me think of foundations, building sturdy, strong foundations. And that is what you are doing. Some of you could be learning about like fashion, could be learning about actually aesthetics. This could even be something that you're learning in your spare time or something that you're doing as a pastime. And so maybe that's why you're not feeling a lot of pressure to get this right or to learn this quickly or to make something with it, because you're just doing it as a pastime or you're just doing it for fun. But then it ends up offering you so much more than just a good time. Now, the Devil can also speak about sensual and sexual energy. So because we once again have people in their birthday suits, I do see a lot of you feeling a lot more comfortable in your own skin, possibly even exploring more of your sensuality or your sexuality. But honestly, I feel it's more about you being comfortable in your own skin, you getting to know your own body a lot better, and also building a healthier relationship with your physical vessel. With the Devil, there's this feeling of no longer feeling tied to your physical body. So with the Page of Pentacles here, which speaks about that grounding energy, yes, I do see you feeling a lot more connected with your physical body, but I don't see you identifying as being your physical body. Like, you're understanding that your physical body is a vessel. It is not all of who you are. Yet that doesn't mean that your physical vessel does not deserve the love and respect, your love and respect. So in other words, I see you being a lot more respectful to your physical vessel and giving time to understanding what your bodily needs are, what your body needs, not only to survive but also to thrive. Which is why I mentioned that I do see you having and or establishing as well as building a healthier, more loving and respectful relationship with your physical body. And there's also something here with the Devil about no longer being tied or feeling tied to temptations. And the Devil can speak about fears, anxieties, as mentioned, obsessions, negative habits and patterns, unhealthy tendencies. So with the Page of Pentacles showing up in your spread, what I am seeing is that there is definitely a new focus. And this new focus is helping you to focus less on negative thoughts or intrusive thoughts, because we all have intrusive thoughts. We all have a little voice inside our head that whispers not so nice things to us. And it's how much we pay attention to that little voice or those intrusive thoughts, how much we identify with them, how much we believe them, that we give those thoughts power, that we then let those thoughts affect us emotionally, mentally, even physically, right? So what I'm seeing here is that whereas in the past you might have place too much attention and focus on, that negative voice inside your head or those intrusive thoughts. Now you're paying less attention to it because you're focused on something else that is a lot healthier and that inspires a good feeling in you. So the Page of Pentacles is reminding me of a proactive energy. So if in the past or currently you struggle a lot with being up in your head, worrying and or obsessing about things, ruminating and so forth, I feel like what is next for you is being a lot less up in your head and more in the 3D, more present. So something else I'm seeing is that if you in the past or you currently struggle with staying focused, what is next for you is having better focus. And it's because there is something that is grabbing your attention and engaging you. Yeah, there is definitely something that will be helping you get out of your head and help with you channeling your creative energy into something productive instead of channeling it into worrying about things or coming up with made up scenarios of what could go wrong and so forth. And some of you could be releasing an obsession or a harmful habit or tendency through this way, by you focusing on something that is healthy, enriching, fulfilling, exciting for you, and ultimately conducive to your growth, your betterment, even your happiness. So I see you being a lot more in the present. And I feel like that's why we also got messages of you feeling more connected with your physical body, like having no trouble being in your physical body and engaging with this physical world. The other thing I'm seeing with the devil and this Page of Pentacles is that something you can expect to happen next is for you to be a lot less active on social media, or just have a lot more less screen time. I see there being this desire, and it could even be a new desire, to connect more with the physical world, to be more present in your environment. So, like for example, if you enjoy reading books online or through an e-reader, this could be you now choosing to grab a physical book and enjoy your time reading in this way while putting aside or leaving aside all technological devices. If you are someone who enjoys shopping online, you could find yourself being drawn to physical stores, maybe going to boutiques or thrift stores or flea markets to shop. Like, I'm seeing more of in-person interactions. If you are someone who usually engages with others, interacts with others via online through social media platforms, then what is next for you is you actually getting out there and meeting people in person, interacting with others in person. Because I do see you being out and about, and especially being out in nature, or I'm seeing like someone taking walks around the block or walking from one location to another, maybe riding their bicycle a lot, or their scooter, their skateboard. Yeah, so if you are someone who tends to drive a lot or drive from place to place, then I definitely see you choosing to walk or maybe even take the bus. Choosing a different mode of transportation that is more interactive, or that allows you to, again, interact more with an environment or interact with others, with people. Yeah, with the first house being here, which is again reminding me of the physical body, this makes me think of someone who is using their senses to connect with their environment, to connect with the world, to experience the world around them. With the chameleon, I am seeing you entering into a phase in which you are going to be exploring a lot. I think I already mentioned this, but when it comes to interests or hobbies, you could be pursuing more than one hobby, in other words. But there's definitely something, at least one thing, that is really going to be capturing most, if not all, of your attention. The other thing that is coming through with the book is that some of you could actually start writing a novel of your own, or a series, a collection of short stories or poems. Yeah, and that could be the thing that you will find yourself being very invested in. Yeah, because with this Pentacles here, I see you being invested in something, or investing your time and energy into something in specific. This coin here is also making me think of putting all of your eggs in one basket. So like going all in with something. And Capricorn can also speak about someone who is all about their work, or all about their studies, their education. But with the Page of Pentacles, I am sensing balance. So yes, I see you being very focused on something, or being quite goal-orientated. But at the same time, it's like, yes, you have this goal. Yes, you have this passion. Yes, you have this interest. Yet you haven't unattended to pursuing other things, to having other hobbies. It's like you're remembering to, also have a personal life. You're remembering to also take a break from work, or from school, or from working to achieving this goal. So yes, you have your goals in mind. Yes, you are working or putting in a little bit every day to achieving this goal, but you're still making time to do other things. Like to read a book, or to go out for a walk, or to go to an art exhibition, to listen to music, to play an instrument, to go eat out, spend time with friends, network, socialize. So there's a nice balance here. This is kind of making me think of an idyllic lifestyle, a bit of like an artsy lifestyle as well, or just it makes me think of someone who knows how to use their time, and not only for productivity, but use their time to get the most out of it for self-fulfillment. Like, I'm investing my time in things that I actually enjoy doing, in things that I actually like, in things that I know will actually benefit me and help me. So at the end of the day, I'm going to bed feeling quite relaxed and relieved because I spend my day or my time wisely. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. So it's not solely about productivity or how much you're getting done, but it's more about you spending your days, your afternoons, your nights, just doing the things that you enjoy, doing the things that bring you pleasure and also add value to your life. So we have the bat with Matrix of Self and the message, like bat, so much of our being resides in darkness. Iterations and alterations of ourselves sit in silence. Pushed aside by lighter energies, these aspects of self wait patiently suspended in time. As Bat awakens and her journey begins, we too explore the twilight. With neutrality, new vibrations unfold. With intention and insight, Bat brings our life's work to us. Revealing hidden gifts, she encourages us to trust our senses and embraces the shadows and the darkness. Light does exist. Ooh, so this last sentence, revealing hidden gifts. So what is next for you is you learning more about, like I said, your interests, but not only that, learning more about what comes easy to you, what comes naturally to you, and what you are willing to invest more time and energy into or put in effort into. Like I said, for a lot of you, I see you finding a passion or aligning with a passion of yours. And it feels more like you're stumbling into it. Like you're not even intentionally looking for it, but then you come into alignment with it. Which I feel like that's why that message at the beginning of ushering in something new, like something actually coming towards you. Because I don't see you actively seeking for this. When you do find it, it's more like you are coming into alignment with it. And with the bat hanging, it is reminding me of the Hangman in tarot, which speaks about a pause. So a lot of you could have been, or you may be currently experiencing a pause in your life, or like a slowing down. Maybe some of you are currently in hermit mode, or you have been for a while. The word isolation also came to mind. So some of you could have been in isolation or could have isolated quite a lot. And what is next for you is coming out of this isolation, coming out of this hermit period. Yeah, reigniting this fire within you. So if recently you've been feeling like nothing really inspires you, or you've been experiencing a creative lull, a creative blockage, I feel like very soon you are going to come out of this lull. This creative blockage is going to slowly dissipate because there is going to be a new interest, or something is going to spark your interest, spark this passion, reignite that fire within you. And for a lot of you, it's going to feel like falling back into something, possibly falling back into something that you used to love or used to be very passionate about. So it could be something like rediscovering your love for reading, or rediscovering your love for your profession, for your work. And actually, for a lot of you, what is next is you coming out. With the volcano erupting, this is making me think of someone who is now expressing or sharing with others, or exposing either a hidden talent, a hidden skill, or their knowledge about something in specific, or just their wisdom in general. So maybe you have been already in this Page of Pentacles energy. Maybe you have been quite invested in something, or you have been doing something on your spare time, and you already have acquired all this knowledge, this expertise, this experience. And now it's the coming out, or that's what is next. you utilizing these skills, you implementing your knowledge, you sharing it with others. Yeah, so you could be very much like the volcano. You were silent and quiet, keeping to yourself for the longest time, and now you're erupting. Now you're oozing out all this knowledge, all this experience, this expertise. You're letting the world know what you have been up to or what you have hidden up your sleeve. Or this could even be a coming out to yourself. But to get one more card, we have the Two of Wands. And this to me speaks about planning for the future or having a vision. So what I was going to say is that with this Page of Pentacles, I do see a lot of you making plans. I do see a lot of you starting to make some moves, possibly leading up to a big move. So what is next for you is a new idea, possibly even a new project. I just see something unfolding in your mind. This could even be a new desire or a purpose, a new or different purpose. So in other words, I do see you taking action towards something or taking the first steps towards creating and or building something new. So some of you could even be taking a new life direction or simply finding a direction. Like, oh, I was hanging for a while not knowing what to focus on, not knowing what to invest my time and energy into, not knowing what to create, not knowing what to do. But now I have an idea. Or now an idea is unfurling in my mind. Now I'm starting to see a picture. Now there is this yearning, this longing to explore, possibly to travel, to venture out, to reach out. The Two of Wands is also making me think of networking because we do have this person holding a globe, holding the earth, which is making me think of connecting with others or connecting with others via online, possibly expanding, branching out. So with this person holding the globe in their hand, this also makes me think of stepping into this energy where you feel like the world is your oyster, where you feel like you're starting anew, where you feel like anything is possible. It might even feel like stepping into new territory because I do get the feeling for a lot of you, you are going to be stepping into something utterly new. Could be like a new career field, a new profession, a new line of work or studies. So you don't really know what to expect. It's like you don't even know what the limitations to this is, if there are any challenges or blockages and what those are. So it's like you're free of judgments by this point. You're free of preconceived notions of what can and cannot be, of what is and what isn't possible. And so that's why it feels like a clean slate. That's why it feels like you're starting anew, you're starting fresh. And that's why it feels like anything is possible. So the Two of Wands can also speak about options. So I do see you formulating a new plan or getting something new in motion. But with the World showing up in the Two of Wands, I do see this being a big project. Whatever it is that you're starting is going to start quite small, but it is eventually going to lead to something grand, to something substantial, I want to say. What the Two of Wands is indicating is that at this current moment, when you are in this Two of Wands energy, planning, starting to visualize, starting to see first glimpses of this bigger picture, you don't really know the magnitude of what you are stepping into. You have no clue as to what this is going to develop into. Like, for example, you might just think that you're writing a short story. But what you don't know is that this short story is just a preview of a series that you will end up writing and publishing in the near future. Or you might start an online store. But what you don't know is that this will soon become a full-on business, possibly even a company, a corporation in the long run. So you're planting seeds here. And it's like you're planting your seeds and you have an idea as what this seed can flourish into, but you don't really know the potential of it. You have no clue yet. It's like you haven't really formulated that idea. because you're barely starting. That's the feeling I'm getting with the Page of Pentacles. And honestly, this is the beauty of this energy, because there's no expectations here. It's like you're simply doing this because you're being called to it, because you know you're feeling passionate about it, because you're excited about it, because you enjoy it, because you just want to see what this can lead to. And so because you just want to see where this can lead to, you're open to the possibilities. You're not limiting this to being and or becoming something in specific. And I get the feeling that for a lot of you, you will step into this, like this new journey, let's say, this new venture, without you really even knowing that you're stepping into it. Because like I said, for a lot of you, this might be something that you will be doing just on the side. Something that you're doing just for pleasure, just for fun, just out of curiosity. Like, for example, posting a video on TikTok just for fun, but then it ends up going viral. But, you know, just to give a more relatable example, this could be like you randomly pick up a book and it ends up being the book that inspires a story, or that inspires you to take a new career path, or that inspires you to like pick up a new hobby. And then it's this hobby that inspires you to pick up a new skill or become an apprentice of something, delve into a subject, and then, you know, one thing leads to another and so forth. But let's see. I'm gonna pull out one last oracle card. The Two of Wands can also speak about business partnerships, cooperations, and because I did mention that the Devil can speak about contracts, a lot of you could be partnering up with someone, starting a business with them, or collaborating. I did mention that. You possibly collaborating with more than one person. For those of you who are seeking employments, I do see you getting employed. And that could be your new beginning. Like you're starting... Oh, you know what I was reminded of? Like the movie Monsters University of Mike Wazowski and Sully, of how they did end up getting hired at the company they wanted to work in, but they didn't start off working in the position that they wanted to. They did end up getting the position that they wanted, but that was after a while. That was after they climbed their way up there, build their way up. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Like you're starting off somewhere and you don't really know where this is going to lead, but you're starting with much enthusiasm because the starting point itself was something that you were aiming for. But where you will end up is not something that you at this moment, at this stage, are envisioning. Because maybe at this stage, it's difficult for you to fathom where this will lead or what this could turn into, where this could take you to. You know, to give another example, you start off as a secretary receptionist at a company, and you never assumed, never guessed that you will end up being an executive director at this company. But that's exactly where this journey is leading you to. You know, that's just an example to illustrate the energy here, because that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up from these cards. So what is next is a new beginning, a start that will lead you somewhere, maybe beyond your wildest dreams, or take you somewhere farther than you expected or imagined or envisioned. And I do see this being a good place. And throughout the journey, you know, as you go through each step, as you experience each leveling up, I see you learning a lot and growing a lot as a person as well. But we have release worry, know that everything is going to be all right. So this is just your confirmation that you are on the right path and that everything is going to be all right. You know, it might not be so clear right now where you are headed, where this is headed, but know that you are headed in the right direction. We can't always know how things are going to turn out. We can't always know what each step is going to be about, because things reveal themselves as we go. So just allow for your path to reveal yourself as you keep moving forward. Yeah, and again, we have a volcano erupting. So volcanoes erupting could be an important like imagery or symbol for some of you guys. It just makes me think of like, it makes me think of a blossoming. It makes me think of an awakening, but an awakening of passion, of inspiration, of your inner spark, your inner fire. This could be indicating that something will be awakening your spirit or your free spirited nature. We have doves here, which represent hope, peace, fire, flame, which represents creativity. It also makes me think of ambition. So something could also be awakening your ambition, your hunger for something more, your hunger for something in specific. And then butterflies make me think of transformation. It also makes me think of growth and of a blossoming as well. So I see you guys awakening to a new side of you, a more passionate, invigorated, go-getter side of you. One that doesn't hesitate to take inspired action. And one thing I see for you guys is you believing in something with all of your heart and soul. And it is this belief that will be driving you. And this crystal ball with the eye in the center makes me think of a vision. You will definitely have a vision of what you want, a vision of what you want to create, or you will have a goal, a purpose, a focus, something that you're aiming for. And you know, these illustrations could be of importance. So flames, as mentioned, volcanoes, erupting volcanoes, doves, white birds, blue, purple, or pink butterflies, crystal balls, crescent moons, images of the sun, chameleons, bats, and the goddess Venus. Also, the painting The Birth of Venus could be of significance. Okay, but these are all the messages I am seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. But thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took the moment or the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play out in the background. If you did, I truly do appreciate it, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. But this is all for now. I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hello you guys, bienvenidos to your reading. So what is next for you guys is reaching the ending of something. I do also see you finding a way out. So if you're currently dealing with a problem or an issue and you're trying to find a solution for it or a way out of it, you will be finding this solution. Or you will be coming out of this situation victorious. It's also making me think that if you're currently confused or things are unclear or something in specific is unclear, what is next is clarity. So you gaining clarity about something, or things becoming clear for you, or simply you feeling and or being a lot less confused. Okay, so let's see. We have the 5th house with Jupiter in Leo and the key term publicity. Okay, so some of you could be a Leo sun, moon, or rising, or could have Jupiter in Leo. Or Leo season in and of itself could be of significance, but if none of that resonates, don't worry about it, because this energy here is simply indicating that things are going to become a lot more clear. We do have this angel pointing to this star that is being highlighted by this yellow glow. So this to me is indicating guidance. So at this moment, you could be currently receiving divine and or spiritual guidance, or what is next for you is you receiving a lot of divine and or spiritual guidance. So you could be seeing a lot of signs and or synchronicities, or you could be experiencing a lot of being at the right place at the right time, meeting the right kind of people, making the right kind of connections. Things could be falling into place. And actually, that is what I sense for you guys. What is next is things falling into place. Possibly you seeing for yourself how something is coming together, or how everything is coming together. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth, so I do see acceleration. I see things speeding up for you, or the momentum picking up. The 5th house is the house of creativity, the house of arts, children, and love affairs as well. So for those of you who are creators or creatives, influencers, or you do have a social media presence, I see things faring very well for you in your creative field or in your profession. You garnering and or gaining a lot of recognition and positive attention. Leo is all about being seen, being in the spotlight, as well as feeling comfortable with being in the spotlight. So this to me is also indicating that there is going to be a boost in confidence. If you struggle with being seen, if you struggle with being praised, what is next for you is you becoming more comfortable with that and familiar with it as well. Because as mentioned, I do see you garnering a lot of positive attention, and this 5th house energy is also making me think of receiving a lot of positive feedback. So what is next for you is hearing a lot of compliments. Again, if you're not used to that, or if you're not currently comfortable with it, I feel you're going to get pretty familiar with it in this, let's say, next chapter of your life. And again, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth, this is again making me think of growing your confidence. And for those of you who, as mentioned, do have a social media presence, or if you have a business or a product line or something that you are wanting to share with others, something that you know could benefit a lot from having visibility, from being exposed to others, what is next for you is either you, your page, your business, your product line, or whatever it may be, getting publicity, getting visibility. We do have the Earth showing up in this illustration, and that makes me think of the web, online. So a lot of you could be working with social media platforms to get your work out there. And it seems like it is working for you, because what I'm feeling is that the algorithm will be favoring you, your page, or your work. Because I see this being a case in which something that you post is being recommended to so many people, or your content is popping up in a lot of people's feeds. And that's how you're gaining exposure and visibility. And, with this guardian angel or archangel pointing to the star, it seems like, yes, your work, your content is being recommended to others, but not only that, people are clicking, they are engaging with your work, with your content. They are interested in what it is that you're putting out there, and what it is that you're doing, or in what it is that you have to say. So the 5th house also makes me think of finding your community or finding your audience. So with Jupiter being here, if your intention or your hopes were to grow an audience, to maybe gain more followers or more views or clientele, customers, then what is next for you is you seeing an increase in that. And it feels with the angel that this is all very divinely guided. It's like what you're choosing to share or put out there is falling onto the path of those who will benefit a lot from it, or those who will appreciate it. And I feel like that's why you are finding your community, or you're finding your audience. You're finding your people, your tribe, because it's falling in the right hands, in other words. That's why I sense that this is all very divinely guided. So I don't only see you benefiting from this, but I also see a lot of other people, an entire collective benefiting from this as well, because they're finding and are coming across more like something that resonates with them. And this could be about you. Yeah, so with this angel pointing at the star, what is next for you is you shining bright, you standing out from the crowd. Because we have this one star that is standing out amongst all these other stars. And this angel here is sort of looking like a tour guide. And so this star is you, and this angel is pointing towards you like, hey, everyone, look over here. Look at this star. This is what you've been looking for. This is what you've been asking for. So it could also be that you in a way are going to be the answer to a lot of people's prayers. So it could also be that you will be creating, or whatever it is that you are sharing and are thinking about sharing will be the answer to a lot of people's prayers. It almost feels like you have what other people are looking for. Or if it's not a large group of people, a community, this could be on a smaller scale. Like, for example, maybe there is an employer out there who is looking for a specific skill set and you have it. And so what is next is you crossing paths. Like, they find in you the specific skill set that they were looking for, and you find in this employer the opportunity for employment that you were looking for. Like, both of you benefit from one another, or you work very nicely together and end up helping each other out. So again, that's making me think of like being at the right place at the right time, or being divinely guided, something being divinely orchestrated. So that's another thing some of you could be experiencing, divine orchestration. Just to be clear, what is next is you standing out from the crowd, you being selected from the masses. So if you have been applying, auditioning, or going in for interviews, but you have yet to be accepted, called back, or selected, what's next is you being chosen. So those of you who have already experienced one or multiple rejections know that it's your time to shine now. So what's next is you aligning with that, or those who see you and actively choose you. I also feel that what is next is you receiving a lot of assistance. Not only from the divine, not only from angels or spirit guides if you believe in them, but from your environment, from those around you, from people that you might come across with. So I feel like this would be a perfect time to ask for support, or ask or for guidance, ask for information, clarification, because it will be given to you. And there's something here like you won't need to fight for it or struggle to receive it. It will be freely and gladly given to you. So what is next for you is ease. If you're currently feeling like you are lost in a crowd, like you can't put one foot forward because there's no way through, then what is next is the crowd splitting apart, making a way for you so that you can get out of this crowd, find your way. So yeah, if currently you feel like you are face to face with an obstruction, or you're dealing with some kind of blockage, I feel like what is next is the path clearing for you. This blockage being removed for you. And with that 5th house energy, what is next is successful creative endeavors or enterprises. So this might mean different things to different people if this is resonating with you. So whatever it is that you have been struggling with, that you've been wanting for it to improve, or whatever breakthroughs you have been wanting to make, I feel like that is what is next for you. This improvement, these breakthroughs. So for some who do have a social media presence, this could be garnering more positive attention, interacting with a larger audience, gaining more followers, more views, and so forth. Or for others of you who are creators, this could be about having opportunities to collaborate with other artists and or creatives or creators, having an opportunity to create more. And if that's the case, that's what I see being next for you. Yeah, so again, it will differ for each one of you based on what it is that you've been wanting, looking, and or aiming for. And this star, it also makes me think of wish fulfillment. So I do also see a wish being fulfilled, regardless of whether this wish has to do with the creative arts or not. I see a wish of yours coming true. And this illustration is also making me think of aligning with your desires. And the phrase that I just heard in my mind was, it's been a long time coming. So something that you've been waiting for quite some time will come to be, or will come to pass. Yeah, so don't give up hope yet. And it seems like for those of you who are wanting publicity or visibility, someone may be helping you out. For example, if you aren't already on social media, someone could help you to start or put up your own page, or help you create a website, or they could guide you towards what platforms would be the best for you or what it is that you're looking for. They could give you an insight of how all of this works, and they could help you get going, get your website going, get your platform going, take those first steps. But if you already have a social media page or a website, if you're already online, let's say, or you already have some kind of publicity going for you, then yes, I do see this being a case in which the algorithm will favor you, or in which people will be guided to your work, to your content. But I also see that someone in specific could be pointing you out, like recommending you to others. This could be someone who already has a following of their own, or who is very well known, well established in their respective fields, and so they do have a lot of influence, or they are very influential people, and it is them who will be recommending your work or sharing it with others, or doing some free publicity for you. Maybe, for example, if you are a jewelry maker, a very well-known actress or actor could end up wearing your jewelry when they go to a Met Gala, or when they go to a show, a premiere, or maybe when they're just out and about. And there could be pictures of them taken and posted online. And then a lot of people end up seeing those pictures and seeing your jewelry, and that's how you get free publicity. Or an influential figure could actually be reaching out to you asking if you want to collaborate, or if you want to sponsor them. Or they could simply be talking about you or your work or your products without asking for anything in return, just because they love it, just because they want to share it with their audience, or they want to recommend it to their loved ones, to their friends. And then that's how you gain publicity, garner more attention, get yourself or your work or your products out there. But overall, you're standing out, or something that you're doing, something that you've been hoping would stand out from the crowd is standing out. Yeah, so for those of you who have a business and you've been wanting your business to gain visibility, what is next for you is a lot of business. I see people making requests, placing orders, or emailing you about business inquiries, possibly collaborations, sponsorships. If you do own a business, if you sell products, there could be a lot of influencers who will be reaching out to you asking if you can sponsor them, or asking if they can work with you, like kind of negotiate something where they can promote your products and then you can assist them, or your business can assist them with something. Yeah, and I see this helping with you gaining publicity. But let's see. We have the 5 of Cups. And we have the 2 of Cups. So the 2 of Cups speaks about partnerships. It can also speak about reciprocity. Yeah, so a lot of you could actually be working with one or more people to create something, or just to help each other out in some way. And I was kind of already talking about that before I pulled out this card. But the 2 of Cups also makes me think of attraction. So I do see you attracting a lot of positive attention. Now the 5 of Cups. I find this one quite interesting because we actually have one person here who is facing us but has their eyes closed, holding 2 cups. And then we have the 2 of Cups card. So actually, I feel like maybe a lot of you have recently let go of something, or if you have recently been rejected or are currently feeling like you lost or missed out on one or more opportunities, or you have experienced an ending, some kind of ending. For those of you who were in a business partnership, or possibly even in a relationship, or you were working with someone, collaborating with someone, ended, or maybe you're thinking about ending this partnership, or maybe you're choosing to no longer work with someone in specific. Yeah, I feel like after this ending, it's when you're going to experience this. So if you're currently wondering whether you made the right decision to walk away from something, or you're currently lamenting the fact that something came to an end, or something didn't work out, or it didn't work out as you expected, and you're very doubtful that things are going to get better, or you're questioning, wondering whether things are ever going to get better. This is your confirmation here that things will get better, and possibly this ending that you just experienced was the thing that needed to happen in order for you to experience this exponential growth or this breakthrough. Yeah, because with this person holding these 2 cups, I do see you walking out of a situation in which maybe you had to let go of a lot. Maybe you had to surrender a lot of which you worked very hard for, or maybe you felt very attached to. But the 5 of Cups is indicating that you're not leaving the situation completely empty-handed. Though it might feel that way for some of you, that is not exactly the case, because what you need the most to, let's say, succeed, whatever that might mean to you personally, or to thrive, more like, you did take with you and you do have with you. So that could be experience, that could be knowledge, that could be maybe possibly connections, because this 2 of Cups makes me think of someone who does have people on their side, or maybe through this situation they found out who was on their side, who really had their back. So yes, you might have felt like you lost a lot, but at the same time it seems like through this letting go, let's say, and or surrendering, or this loss, you also gained a lot. Like gained valuable friendships and or connections, or gained experience, gained knowledge, gained wisdom, gained maybe even the knows and hows of an industry, like who to trust and who to be wary of. And I feel like some of you might have actually taken something tangible with you. It could be information, data, or content possibly, because the example that is coming to mind is of a singer who was dismissed from a label, and they were smart enough to not give all of their work, let's say all the music that they have been working on, all the demos, to the label. They were smart enough to keep it stored in their own personal devices, like their laptop, like their phone. So they're not walking out of this label empty-handed, because they are taking their own work, what they worked on personally and created, with them. So if they choose to continue pursuing music and become an independent singer, let's say, and debut with these demos, these could very well be the demos, the songs that make them famous. Or it could be that all the experience they gained while working at this label helps them start their own label. And so when they're starting over, they're not necessarily starting over because they already have all this previous knowledge and experience. So it is in a way a starting over, but it's more like starting right where you left off. But that was just an example to help better illustrate energy here, because this doesn't necessarily have to be your situation in order for these messages to apply, if they are resonating with you. For others of you, this ending or so-called missed opportunity aided in weeding out the unlikelies for you. I believe this to be so because from 5 cups, now there are only 2. 3 didn't work out, so that you will be left with the 2 that will. Not because they are all that is left, but rather because they are the ones that were always meant to be. These are your cups, which represent either opportunities, offers, and or even relationships. In other words, there were no missed opportunities or errors. There was only redirection. And this 5 of Cups is also making me think of discarding what isn't working, or removing your focus and attention from that which isn't working, so that you can concentrate more on what is working for you. It's also making me think of choosing, like need to be making a very important decision on what goes and what stays. And I feel like what you end up deciding on, it's gonna bring you much success. And this 5 of Cups has this vibe of lamenting, needing to sacrifice something. So some of you could be pretty upset about needing to choose or needing to let go of certain things, and you might feel like you're making the wrong decision. Yet I see this action being the very thing that will help you. It's kind of making me think of someone who is very hesitant on decluttering their space. They're like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to let go of these objects and items. Like, you don't know what you're doing by recommending me to do so. But then once you start decluttering, you start feeling better. Things start making more sense or becoming a lot more clear for you. You start understanding what is truly a priority, or what is truly precious to you, or what needs more of your attention and time. Yeah, and I did mention something about you gaining more clarity, so I do see that being the case for you guys. I'm also seeing something like less is more. So for some, what is next is maybe you doing less and achieving more, or obtaining better results from it. In other words, I do see a lot of you taking a different approach, trying something different, and it's giving you very good and or positive results. Ooh, and we have the spider with resourcefulness. So spiders could be a spirit animal or animal totem of yours, or possibly a power animal, or it could be a positive omen for you or an important symbol as well. But oops, we have the message. Spider is a remarkable figure of feminine energy and creativity. She is characterized by her strong devotion to her craft. Using resources found at her own fingertips, her art is beautiful yet practical. Comfortable with intricacies, she aids us in finding the answers to our own complicated webs. She reminds us to explore each problem fully and hopes a suitable solution will reveal itself. When Spider enters our life, she does so to encourage us to take charge, to weave every step of our destiny. So spiders make me think of webs, and webs make me think of the web, the internet. So I do see a lot of you working with the web to help you propel forward in your career, in your field, or to help you network, connect with others. But the spider does make me think of someone who is creative, ingenuitive, someone who also is very tenacious. So again, I do see a successful creative endeavor. Something that you're doing, something that you're creating is gaining a lot of positive attention. Your skills, your talents, your creativity, your imagination gaining a lot of recognition. And I do see you making important connections, connecting with other creators, or connecting with like-minded people, or connecting with people who will offer you opportunities, or who will be collaborating with you, or investing in your work. Spiders, they carry their home with them, right? Because their home is their web, the web that they create. So with the world showing up in the publicity card, you may be traveling, and that is what is also next for you. Making a lot of trips, long distance trips possibly. And spiders tend to be solo or solitary creatures. So some of you could end up starting your own business, or could choose to be self-employed or freelancers. What is also coming to mind is becoming a solo artist, or choosing to run a business alone. Yeah, so if you've been contemplating on that, or you have thought about that in the past, I do see that being what is next for you. So let me pull out another tarot card. So we have the Knight of Cups, and immediately when I saw this illustration, I was painting a picture in my mind of, this knight looking back, kind of doing a double take on this person in the Five of Cups card. So the Knight of Cups does represent offers and it can sometimes represent or indicate a romantic offer. So if you're currently single, what is next for you may very well include a romantic offer. And it could be through you having or getting this visibility and or exposure that this knight over here finds out about you. The key is visibility, allowing yourself to be seen by others. Therefore, what is next is you meeting people, dating, or putting yourself out there. As a few examples, you may find yourself going out more, visiting places where you can potentially meet people. You may end up creating a profile on a dating app or online platform where you can meet and chat with people, and this will result in you meeting someone. So singles, you will meet someone who you will be getting to know romantically. All of these cards are from the cup suit, and cups are associated with the element of water and water signs, so Cancer, Pisces, and or Scorpio. So a water season or summer season could be an important time for a lot of you. But this Knight of Cups to me is indicating interest. Like I said, you are attracting a lot of positive attention. So you could be attracting one or more suitors. Or if it's not romantic suitors, because you are already in a committed relationship, this could be potential business partners or collaborators, sponsors, and so forth. Yeah, but with the Two of Cups being here, I feel like for a lot of you, especially for those of you who are single, you are attracting a romantic offer. I see you catching someone's eye. And it's so interesting because the Knight of Cups is reminding me so much of the prince from Cinderella. It seems like this knight here has been looking for their partner for quite some time. Like this cup that they're holding is reminding me of the glass slipper. And then they see you and they know immediately, that's who I've been looking for. That's the one. Yeah, so whoever this knight is, it seems like they've been on the search for you. And then they find you. And then they offer you their cup. And I do see you taking it. And so what is next? It's not only you receiving a romantic offer, but you entering into a romantic relationship and going on dates in public settings. If both you and your partner are comfortable with it, there will also be a lot of public displays of affection and even some public declarations of love. So if this is not like a romantic offer, it could be a platonic offer. So this Two of Cups energy could be representing a platonic relationship, a friendship, let's say. And because we do have this Knight of Cups turning in the direction of the person in the Five of Cups, but the person in the Five of Cups has their eyes closed, I do feel like this knight will see you or will notice you before you notice them. So in other words, this knight will approach you first. They will be the one who will be making you an offer. If you are currently seeing someone romantically, what is next is it being publicly known that you and this person are dating. For those of you who are in a committed relationship, what is next is you going out a lot on romantic dates with your significant other. I see you being out and about with your person a lot and enjoying each other's company, especially in public settings. Again, if you're okay with it, there will also be a lot of PDA and even some public declarations of love. The Knight of Cups is also very creative, intuitive, quite the dreamer. So a lot of you could be finding a community of creators, of creatives, or like I said, you could be connecting with a lot of people who share a similar interest as you or have the same profession as you, work in the same field, industry as you, or people who share similar values as you. And because I did get a lot of messages about the web online, this person could be reaching out to you via online. Like they could be sending you an email or they could be DMing you. But for your last card we have, everyone is emitting a vibrational signal. Shift your vibration rather than words you are offering. Then you have true control of what you are attracting. Yeah, so I feel with these clouds and or nebula dissipating and us having a clearer view of this one star, which I feel is representing you because you did come through as a star. So stars could be an important symbol for you guys, or star-shaped things. You guys are definitely gaining visibility, but you're also becoming more comfortable with being seen. And maybe it's that, like, you giving yourself permission to being seen that is attracting all of this. Because, it could be through your own actions that you are gaining all this visibility. Because, for example, if in the past you held back from sharing your work or putting yourself out there, then that reduces the likelihood of you being seen by others, right? Or of you going viral, let's say, or your work going viral. But if you're no longer shying away from those things, then you increase the likelihood, or you give permission for others to see you or to see your work. Because I feel like this is all about you and your free will. Like, this was always meant to happen, but it was up to you whether you allowed for it or not. It's like the universe, your angels were waiting for you, for your permission, for you to be comfortable or be okay with all of this, with public recognition, for example. Yeah, and again, this nebula dissipating is making me think of clarity. Things are becoming a lot more clear in terms to what you want. Or it could be in terms of your journey, like why you were guided in a certain direction, or why some things fell away, or why some things had to end. Things are becoming a lot more clear. And having this one star shining bright, or being all that we can see, this again lets me know that you are standing out. Like, it's your time. I see you being in the limelight. This also makes me think of coming into alignment with those who you were destined to meet and are destined to work with in this lifetime. So what is next is you being seen by, let's say, members of your soul family, or people who you will end up working with, people who you will end up creating beautiful works with, or coming up with beautiful ideas with, being seen by possibly your counterpart, your life partner, your person, or your next romantic partner. Because this Two of Cups makes me think of coming into alignment. Yeah, so I see you attracting. You're definitely attracting. People will be coming towards you. Offers will be coming towards you. Like, you're standing out. You're visible. And so those who need to find you will easily find you, or will be guided to you, divinely guided. It may also be accessibility that is allowing for those meant to connect with you to reach you. So if there are restrictions either placed by you or others that are not allowing for you to work freely with whomever you wish, or reach out to, or be reached by others, then what's next is you being freed, or freeing yourself of these restrictions, allowing for more accessibility. This may also be the result of you becoming or allowing yourself to be more approachable by being less defensive and or putting your walls down. So it's not about dismissing and or having no boundaries at all, but rather it's about not isolating yourself or shutting others out. Because you can still be open to meeting new people, or you can still have and maintain relationships and connections whilst having boundaries. Okay, but these are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. But thank you so much for watching until the very end, and to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play out in the background, thank you so much, since that is a simple way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you, Spirit. And yeah, that is all for now. I am wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello guys, bienvenidos to your reading. So what is next for you guys is expansion and growth. The phrase that came to mind when connecting with this group's energy was look beyond and then you'll see. So I feel like very soon there is going to be a new goal or a new dream that you are either going to feel very inspired and or passionate about. Some of you could already be working on either achieving a goal, or you could be working on a current project. And if that is the case, I feel like whatever it is that you're currently working on, very soon you are going to expand on it, or this is going to become something either more profound or it's going to evolve into something more. Something possibly on a larger scale, or into something very different than what you are currently working on right now or doing right now, okay? But the first card for you guys is the third house with Venus in Gemini and the key term flattery. Okay, so the third house is about communication. It is also the house of short journeys, everyday travels, knowledge, early learning, and the mind, mental energy. It is also the house of siblings, by the way. So what is next for you is, I would say, an expansion of the mind, you thinking outside of the box, you thinking on a larger scale. With this tree growing out of this head with two faces, this is making me think of knowledge. So also I see you growing your knowledge about a specific topic, subject, or it could be more than one thing. Some of you could be choosing to go back to school. If you are currently students, I see you being very focused on your studies, on learning. Or if you aren't students and you aren't thinking of going back to school, you could be self-learning. Or what is next for you is a phase in which you are hungry for knowledge. You are restless to fill your mind with new, important, and valuable information. So a lot of you could be stumbling upon something that you're very interested in and you simply want to learn more about it and maybe even build something from it. And what is coming to mind in specific is the divination arts, maybe learning about the divination arts, maybe learning more about the occult or metaphysics, esoteric, spirituality, spiritual concepts. That could be the case for some of you guys, because the third house also reminds me or makes me think of telepathy. So a lot of you could very soon start looking more into maybe psychic abilities, the clairs, and even astral traveling, out-of-body experiences, like remote viewing or parallel universes, other dimensions. If it's not that, some of you could be looking more into the sciences, learning more about the universe, the cosmos. You could be reading books or textbooks by Carl Sagan. Yeah, but that doesn't have to be the case. I just shared it with you guys because that's what immediately came to mind. Because this could be about anything that you're finding interesting, anything that is intellectually stimulating you, because that's what I'm mostly sensing with this third house energy, intellectual stimulation. And because we do have this constant imagery of two individuals, two faces, this also makes me think of media communication. So a lot of you could be doing something online, or you could be networking and or expanding, branching out via online. Yeah, so if you have an online business, what is next for your business is a branching out, or it could be reaching a new, larger clientele via the web. So if you currently have a social media presence, or you work with social media platforms to promote your business, your services, your work, you could be working and or putting your work, putting yourself on new social media platforms. And this makes me think of how usually like influencers, they link all of their pages in one platform. Like if you go to someone's Instagram accounts, they usually have a page with all the links to all their other social media platforms like YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and so forth. They even link their websites or online businesses and so forth. So some of you could be thinking about doing that, or that is what is next for you, expanding, branching out in that way. For those of you who are entrepreneurs, you could also be finding or creating new sources of income. Because with this tree, I'm definitely seeing a branching out, an expansion. For others of you, maybe you already have two different businesses or two different hobbies or two different things that you are doing and or are interested in, and this could be something that you're sharing with others. But at this moment in time, they're still two separate entities. You haven't linked them or connected them. Maybe you have two different kinds of audiences, or you are part of two different communities, but again, at this moment, they are separate from each other. And maybe what is next for you is to link them, to connect them, to introduce one community to the other, or to merge these two communities, maybe merge these two businesses, or merge these two interests in some way. This could even be pertaining to skills. Like, for example, if you are currently studying and are majoring in psychology, or you already have a degree in psychology, yet you also are interested in, or you have been learning about tarot. Maybe what is next for you is linking, connecting, merging these two together, like bringing psychology into your tarot readings, or bringing tarot into therapy sessions, perhaps, or maybe doing some kind of research paper on how these two could be linked together or could go hand in hand, or how tarot can help one dive deep into their psyche, or the psychology behind tarot. Those are just examples, but I do see you merging and are bringing two different worlds together. And for others of you, because we do have, these two heads turning towards each other, and then we have these faces turning away from one another. For others of you, it could be the opposite, in which maybe you are simply choosing to do two different things. Maybe you're choosing to draw a line between a hobby and a profession. Maybe something that you are creatively interested in, you were pursuing as a main source of income, but maybe that wasn't working out for you. Maybe that wasn't as fulfilling, or it was creating a lot of stress. It was taking or sucking the joy away from this creative interest of yours. And so what you are deciding to do next is to leave this as a creative interest, as a hobby, in which you don't feel any pressure to gain any monetary profit or any kind of profit from it. And you're choosing to do something else on the side that is going to be your main source of income. That way you can continue to pursue this creative interest without any pressure. It will simply be just for pleasure. So that could be the case for some of you guys. Again, that was just an example to help better convey and or illustrate the message. But with Venus and this energy of flattery, I do see you gaining a lot of positive feedback and commentary. If you're currently employed, working under someone, I do see you garnering recognition and acknowledgement for your effort, for your work ethic, for your dedication to your work, or it could be to a specific project. I also feel like your skills or your skill set is growing. Whatever stage you are currently, or whatever it is that you're doing currently, I feel like you are gaining a lot of knowledge from it. You're growing. It could be as a person, it could be as a professional, an artist, a creator, an artisan, a student, but I do see you growing, and more importantly, expanding your knowledge about something. Or like I said, it could be about growing a skill set or improving upon a current skill. And I feel like what is next for you is simply more growth. And again, with these images of two faces, two heads, I feel like what is next for you is learning a new skill or acquiring a new skill set. And this skill or skill set will be very, very different from your current skill or skill set, because there's this duality that I'm seeing with this illustration. So again, the following is just an example. Let's say someone currently has knowledge about math. They are a mathematician. So what is next for them could be them learning about coding or programming, which would be a different area, a different kind of expertise. Yet, if they choose to, in some future, they can bring these two different areas together to create something. They could bring their knowledge of math into coding or programming, or they could bring their knowledge about coding and programming into the area of mathematics, maybe to create some kind of program related to math. Or again, they could simply choose to keep these two areas separate from each other. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. I see you learning something very different than what you have been currently acquiring a lot of knowledge about or a lot of experience about. Yet, if you choose to, in the future, you could bring these two different things together, or if you prefer, you could simply keep them apart. They could simply be different skill sets and tools that you have under your belt. Now, in general, I do see you receiving a lot of positive feedback and comments about your way of thinking, about your mind, possibly the way you communicate, because this illustration here is making me think of a beautiful mind, like someone who is able to see different perspectives, see from different points of view, someone who isn't limited in their way of thinking. So I feel like that is representing you, how your mind works, how you view the world, how you process information, and you're receiving a lot of compliments about it. Again, it could be at work, it could be at school, it could be in a community, in an industry possibly, or it could just be in general, people commenting about your points of view, your in-depth knowledge about things or something in specific. And I feel for a lot of you, this will either come as a surprise or it's going to help you in recognizing the beauty in your uniqueness, the beauty in your complexity as well. Because this illustration does make me think of a complex mind, but only because it's so intricate, it's so profound. And with Venus here, I am being reminded of a poet, someone who has a very poetic way of speaking or even of thinking. So you could also be receiving compliments on your communication skills. Maybe you do have a very poetic way of speaking or communicating or verbalizing your thoughts. And this tree growing out of this head with two faces, it's making me think of bringing beauty to the world or helping others with expanding their mind or thinking for themselves. So I also do see you inspiring others. Again, it could be through your communication, through your way of thinking, or if you are a creator, a creative who expresses yourself through art, it could be your art, your work that is inspiring others to think, contemplate, and interpret. This illustration is giving me major vibes of a scholar. So yeah, a lot of you could be students or you just love learning. You could be currently thinking about pursuing higher education and maybe that is what is next for you. Like I said, some of you could be choosing to go back to school or simply hitting the books, researching, teaching yourself something new or more about something in specific. So also what is next for you, because I've been talking about communication and how you have a beautiful way of expressing yourself, is an improvement in your communication skills. For those of you who struggle with expressing, communicating, verbalizing your thoughts, I feel like you're going to find it a lot easier to do so. I'm seeing like a throat chakra activation or a clearing of the throat chakra where you won't find your words getting stuck in your throat, or you'll find it easier to speak in public perhaps, or speak to others. Yeah, because this illustration is, as mentioned previously, reminding me so much of duality. So what is coming to mind is someone who is quite shy, possibly introverted or very reserved. And so maybe they don't speak as much, especially in public and social settings, or to others they might look like the quiet one, the shy one. But if you were to engage this person in a conversation, or you were to spark a conversation with them, and you provided them or offered them a safe space to express themselves, then you will find that this person is not so shy, that they can express themselves quite well. They can hold a conversation, an interesting and intellectually stimulating one. And you will find that this person really has a lot to say, and what they say is of value. It leaves you thinking. So it's like, wow, I didn't expect for this shy and or quiet person, or what I perceive to be a shy and quiet person, to have such beautiful thoughts. I didn't know that they were so profound, so poetic, so philosophical. Yeah, and it leaves people surprised but amazed at the same time, and possibly even longing and or craving for more conversations with this person. So that's the kind of duality I am seeing. So if you identify or you resonate with being a shy, quiet person, or that's how people often perceive you, you will be surprising a lot of people, because what is next for you is you possibly getting out of your shell a little bit more, you feeling comfortable with speaking up, with sharing your knowledge with others, with being quite insightful as well. I feel like people tend to go to you for advice, or they could just tend to go up to you and start pouring their heart and soul, maybe even talking about their problems, or just, talking about really deep stuff, very philosophical topics, maybe even asking you very deep philosophical questions. Yeah, and it seems like the answers you provide or the insight that you give is always so eye-opening, or it always leaves people thinking for themselves, or wanting to look further into something, or wanting to dive deeper, maybe even contemplating about the meaning of life. Or it could even help some people push through limited beliefs or start questioning some limited beliefs that they have been upholding. Because this tree here is making me think of growing out of an old belief, an old system. Yeah, so if you ever wondered whether you do have an impact on others, this is your confirmation that you do have an impact. And I feel with this Gemini energy, you often leave people self-reflecting, is what I want to say. It's like your words or even your presence, or possibly the knowledge that you share, has people taking a good hard look at themselves, at their reflection. Yeah, so with flattery here, this is also making me think of honesty and transparency. So what is next is a period in which you are going to have no trouble, or you will find it easier, be more comfortable with being honest, expressing your truth, and living by your truth. And I don't mean this in the way of, oh, I'm just gonna say whatever comes to mind and not care whether it's going to sound mean or whether it's going to insult someone or not, because I'm just being honest at the end of the day. No, it's not about that, because we can be honest whilst being respectful, and we can be honest while still being considerate of others. And so this flattery card, at least the illustration, it's giving such an elegant and sophisticated vibe to me. So I see you being mindful of your words, but not in the sense of I'm trying to filter myself in order to please others, but more like I'm being mindful of my words because I know that words are powerful. So I see you taking your time in answering questions, and I don't see you feeling rushed or feeling in any pressure to give any kind of answer. And I see you being honest, honoring your beliefs and values while still being respectful of others. And also understanding when it is okay to speak up and when it is best to remain silent. Because silence is also a form of communication. It can express so much. And I see you finding the value of silence. So this, to me, gives off such a mature, as mentioned previously, sophisticated and elegant vibe. Like someone who has become very proficient or has excelled in the realms of communication. And I'm also seeing something about knowing exactly what people want to hear. Like being very good at reading between the lines. And then choosing for yourself whether you want to offer and or give that which others are seeking. Like telling them exactly what they want to hear, or instead, being honest, expressing what you believe and think, even if it isn't what they want to hear. That's the choices that you are making, because this Gemini energy can speak about choices. And because I have been speaking about duality and I just mentioned choices, what is next for you is being a lot more aware of your own duality. Not running away from it, but rather becoming a little bit more interested in it. It's like wanting to get to know yourself a lot better. Recognizing your inner complexity and not seeing it as a fault or as an issue, because we are all multifaceted. And I feel like oftentimes we ignore that, or we have trouble acknowledging that. It's just like emotions, Sometimes we forget that we can experience more than one emotion at the same time. That we can be sad one minute and happy the next, or we can cry out of happiness and possibly even laugh out of sadness. To an outsider, that might be very confusing. Why are you crying when you are feeling happy? Why are you laughing when you are grieving or experiencing sadness? But that is the inner complexity of a human and the beauty of a human as well. And so I feel like what is next for you is acknowledging and embracing your inner beauty, your vastness, even your dislike and like for something. Like being okay with liking some aspects of one single thing while disliking other aspects of it. And, to give you a simple example, it could be about a job or a profession. There could be certain aspects of this profession or job that you really enjoy and love and like and are passionate about. And there could be other aspects of it that you just don't understand, do not like, are really frustrated by, and understanding that that is okay. Yeah, so it's like being more comfortable with your inner duality, or understanding that you're gonna show up differently sometimes depending on what you're going through, depending on your emotional state, your mental state. And just because you show up differently on different days or situations, that doesn't mean that you're being inauthentic, or that doesn't mean that you're not being you, because that could just be you showing a different aspect of yourself, a different facet of yourself. Like how you express joy versus how you express sadness. Those are very two different forms of expression, but they're still yours. And I see you being okay with liking two very different things. I did mention learning something completely new and different, but I also feel like what is next for you is you embracing your duality through your interests. So some of you could be getting into something completely different than what you normally pursue. It's making me think of living two different worlds. So this is going to be a very lame example, but like someone who is a rock star by night, but a ballerina by day. Or this could be speaking about playing two very different roles. Like, for example, a parent and a student. Okay. But we have the Fool. Lovely. This is the 0 major arcana of the deck, and the Fool represents new beginnings. But because this is the 0 major arcana of the deck, this card doesn't necessarily indicate a new beginning. It's more like before the beginning. So the Fool talks more about a clean slate. Like, we don't really know what we're stepping into. We don't really know in what direction we're headed. We just know that we are stepping into something new, or that we are about to start a journey. And the Fool also indicates a childlike wonder. I often associate the Fool with the expression, the world is your oyster. So I feel like what is next for you is exactly that. Some of you could be feeling like you have an opportunity to start anew. Like I said, to learn something completely different, to start a completely different venture. So this could be hinting at that. Some of you are currently experiencing an ending or some kind of transition. Maybe you are at this moment completing a chapter of your life, or you could be setting intentions or making preparations to bring something to an end, to complete something possible. And therefore this ending, this completion is ushering in this newness. So I did mention an era, right? You stepping into a new era, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, you're experiencing a major change in your life. And something that is coming to mind is someone who is retiring, or someone who is possibly relocating, moving from one location to another, or they are coming out of a job and now they are simply planning and are thinking about what new job to start next or where to apply. Or this could be about someone who maybe is thinking about making a career change or changing professions, or this could be someone who has recently closed shop, closed a business, and now they're thinking about maybe what next business venture to start. Or another example that is coming to mind is someone who has let go of certain responsibilities and or obligations, and now they have more time, or they find themselves with a lot of spare time, free time to pursue something new. Another example that is coming to mind is a student who has recently graduated from school. And we have the Knight of Swords. So this is associated with the element of air. So air signs, that would be Libra, Gemini, and or Aquarius. So some of you could be an air sign, sun, moon, or rising sign, or you could have an air sign in your third house. But the Knight of Swords indicates big changes, and this to me feels like an energy that is ushering in. It's so interesting how The illustration on the flattery card makes it look like we have one face looking at the Fool and one face looking at the Knight of Swords. So the Fool to me indicates inspired action, right? Taking action when you feel inspired to do so in the moment. Whilst the Knight of Cards to me indicates an energy of jumping into something, like seizing the moment, of having a goal in mind or having a target in mind and not thinking twice on pursuing it or aiming for that target. So because I was talking about you learning something new and or expanding your knowledge about something or gaining more experience, I do feel like the Knight of Swords is indicating you diving head into something. And the Knight of Swords can actually speak about someone who is an intellectual, someone who is quick-witted, very sharp of mind. So I do see you pursuing something when it comes to studies. And the Knight of Swords is a very quick energy. So I do see you quickly learning something new or, quickly picking up on something, like quickly picking up on a skill or developing a skill fairly quickly or effortlessly. This also makes me think of someone who is making quick progress. So it's like someone who starts off as a trainee and then very quickly they end up being like a leader or a manager, a supervisor at the head of something. And it's because of how quickly they pick up on something or how quickly they learn. Or the Knight of Swords also makes me think of someone who is very dedicated, someone who is putting in the effort, putting in the time. And so they mean business. They're not here just to play. They're here to learn. They're here to grow. That's the intention. And their efforts do not go unnoticed because the results show it. So this is your energy. This is what is next for you guys. You guys could be entering into a field, into an industry, into a company, maybe a community, an area, and you're excelling at it. You're picking up on something very quickly, or you're growing quite rapidly or moving on to the next level in a short amount of time. Yeah, so whereas it might take someone 2-3 years to get something going, it will only take you like maybe a couple of months, maybe a year tops. Like you're doing something in a shorter amount of time than expected. And maybe that's taking you and possibly others by surprise. And maybe that's why we have this energy of flattery, because you are shocking a lot of people. Like I see you being praised for maybe your skills. A lot of people might associate this proficiency that you're showing at something or the ease in which you are growing and or progressing with talents. Like you being quite talented at something or having some kind of talent. And perhaps that is the case, yet what I'm sensing with the Knight of Swords is that it's not only talent, it's also due to your hard work and your dedication. It's due to your determination, maybe even your discipline. It's due to your efforts. Because I do see you putting in the work. Like this isn't just happening just because, and it isn't happening overnight out of sheer magic. It's happening because you're practicing, because there's a desire for learning, there's a desire for improvement, for growth. Yeah, and your sheer determination is getting you to where you are headed. And the Knight of Swords, again, air energy. So this to me also speaks about communication, and the Knight of Swords can indicate fast communication incoming. So if you have been expecting some kind of reply, if you have been expecting communication from someone or something, you will be receiving it. That is what is next for you. And I see this being either a positive news or a positive interaction, because the Knight of Swords makes me think of something that is flowing seamlessly, like a conversation that's flowing seamlessly. The right things are being said, the right questions are being asked. Because again, the Knight of Swords is all about speed and movement. So I don't see there being any blockages or delays here. Things are flowing seamlessly, and honestly, it seems like they're moving rapidly as well. It's like things are picking up is what I want to say. And with the Fool, again, this is the duality of this energy. There's something that you're picking up on quickly or that you're making a lot of quick progress in. Things are picking up very quickly in an area of your life. But with the Fool, I see a very different situation when it comes to another area of your life, or when it comes to a different matter and or maybe topic. And at some point I did mention something about you possibly choosing to separate two different fields, two different areas of life, maybe two different interests. And so what I'm seeing here is that yes, you're making progress somewhere, but with the Fool, you're still contemplating on what to do in another area of life or pertaining to something else. And honestly, this feels like the Fool is representing something that you have been looking for. Maybe something that is more personal to you, or you feel has more to do with your life direction, or it has more to do with what fulfills you, or what excites possibly your inner child, because the Fool card can also represent our inner child, our innocence, as mentioned, that childlike wonder. So this could be more pertaining to maybe creative areas, maybe hobbies, personal interests, maybe like passion projects. Whereas the Knight of Swords, I feel, is more pertaining to something that is practical, or more about studies, or more about maybe work, finances perhaps. Or the Knight of Swords could even be representing something that you're not really, it's, it sort of feels like there's something that you are finding that you're quite good at, or it comes maybe naturally to you. Like, yes, you're still putting in effort, but you're not really struggling with it as much. But maybe you're not really thinking much of it. Oh, that's what I want to say. Yes, you're interested in this. Yes, you're focused on it. Yes, you're determined about it. That's why you're putting in the effort, but you're not thinking much about it. Maybe you think that this is only a pastime, or you think that this is only something temporary. This could be something that is a goal of yours, but it's not the main goal. And the Fool card is representing your main goal. Maybe what you actually do want to pursue, or what you want to focus on. Like an example that is coming to mind is, I'll go back to the mathematician who is learning coding. The main goal is to do something pertaining to mathematics. And maybe this person has recently acquired a programming job, and they're excelling at it. They're doing quite well. They're learning quickly, and they're learning a lot. Yet, yes, they're proud of this. Yes, they're excited about it. Yet, they still haven't forgotten their main goal. They still haven't forgotten this dream to do something that only involves mathematics. Something along those lines. And so they're still trying to figure out how to do this. They're still trying to figure out how to make this dream a reality, or where to start. But they're over here excelling at coding, doing a really good job. Yeah, because even this face, you see, this face that is looking towards the Knight of Swords looks kind of like content and happy and pleased. And the face that is looking at the Fool card looks a little bit sad. There's this expression of longing on their face. So yeah, there could be something that you're longing for or desiring, but it yet hasn't fully manifested, or you really haven't started on it. And for a lot of you, whatever this is, you might not even know what it's about, because that's the overall vibe I get from the Fool card. It's like longing for something, wanting to explore something new, but not quite knowing what that is. Like, yes, I want to venture out. Yes, I want to see the world, but I don't know what it is that I want to explore first. I don't know what direction to take. I'm not quite sure yet, but I know I'm meant to pursue something. So that could be how you guys are feeling. So there is this division, and I will say a bit of an inner conflict, because even though there's, this Knight of Swords energy over here, I feel like maybe you can't fully bask in it, or you can't fully see the value of it. It's not that you're not grateful for it, because I feel like you are, but I feel like you're divided because you're still longing for this. And maybe you're thinking to yourself that it's only when you have this, when the Fool is in motion, when you have started on this journey, that you will be able to feel whole and complete, that you will be able to feel absolutely fulfilled. Yeah, so there could even be two different passions that you want to pursue, and possibly pursue at the same time. And one of them you are already getting started on. That is what is next for you. You getting started on one of them, but the other one could be still at its maybe early stages, planning stages. But this is not to say that you are not going to find or know what it is that you're being called to, or what it is that you're longing, or that you're not going to start on this journey, because you are. I just feel like this is taking a little bit more time. And it could be because at this moment you are meant to be focusing on whatever the Knight of Swords is representing for you in specific. And you know what? It could even be this path, the path that the Knight of Swords is on, that will lead you to something more. Because that was the message that came through at the beginning. Something that maybe you're not thinking much of could very well be the thing that would lead you to that which you are seeking or that which you are longing for. Yeah, sometimes it takes for one to try something completely new, completely different than what we were expecting, to get to that point that we want to get to. Or to find out what it is that we really want to do or pursue. Oh, those are too many cards. But yeah, we have horse with passion, and the message, horse is the confident embodiment of our unconstrained psyche. She carries the essential energy needed to traverse mountains. With freedom in sight, horse charges forward passionately and full of vitality. She embraces her wild, untamed spirit, eager to bath in the brilliant sun and cover herself with earth. She faces challenges with confidence, regal and majestic no matter the environment. Horse models self-trust. Walk, trot, or canter. When horse gallops, join stride and run with her. Yeah, so the Knight of Swords does represent assertion, bravery, a champion, someone who is quite confident or who has a healthy level of trust in themselves to know that they will be able to face whatever challenges do arise along the way. And I love how we have two illustrations of horses. So horses could be of significance. Maybe they could be a spirit animal, power animal, or a totem of yours. Or maybe you love horses, or maybe you were born on the year of the horse. And if so, this is just here to serve as confirmation that, you know, if the messages are resonating with you, this is the reading for you. Yet horses do make me think of freedom and a free-spirited energy, and as the card here mentioned, of passion. So either you're developing a new passion, or what is next for you is you being driven by a passion, and it could be that what is next is you working and or focusing on a passion project. But I do see you pursuing something that might be quite unexpected or that isn't exactly expected of you. I'm getting a bit of a rebellious vibe with the horse, and I'm not sure whether this is like rebelling against others, against rules, an institution, a tradition, or if it's rebelling against yourself. Because now the horse is making me think of pride or the ego, and the energy that is coming off from these illustrations of horses is of someone who is putting themselves up for a challenge. So if you are someone who is driven by a good challenge, I see that being what is next for you. You challenging yourself in some way. Maybe challenging yourself to get out of your comfort zone. And maybe that could be you rebelling against your pride or your ego, who often tells you, no, stay in your comfort zone. Keep doing what you always do. Don't try something new. Maybe some of you are challenging yourself to learn something that you told yourself you will never get into. Or this could even be something like allowing yourself to be a beginner. Be a beginner at something. Maybe for a lot of you that's difficult. Or maybe to take on a position or a role that maybe currently or in the past you thought was beneath you, or you thought was irrelevant to what you were pursuing or what you were studying or what you were doing. Because the horse is making me think of freeing yourself. Because we have a horse here with reins, and we have a horse here that is wild and free. So I do see you freeing yourself from something, and this could be like limited beliefs, a belief that was holding you back or preventing from you branching out, expanding your horizons, or leveling up possibly. The example that is coming to mind is of the typical K-drama story of a CEO's daughter or son being encouraged to work as a full-time or possibly even part-time employee at the company that they will soon inherit, be a CEO of. Like, instead of immediately being given the role of a CEO of the next in line, they have to work their way up. They have to start as a beginner, gain the expertise, gain the knowledge, learn about each and different department, so that when they get to that level of being a CEO, they know the ins and outs of their company. And so it will very much depend on how you perceive the situation. For the ego, for the pride, not immediately taking the role of a CEO and needing to start from the bottom, let's say, could be very hurtful. And they might resist it. It might feel like it's beneath them. But to their inner spirit, let's say, to their mind, this might be quite exciting because they're going to gain new experiences. They're going to learn so much from starting at the beginning. And this journey, though it might seem challenging and very new and very different, it comes with its own rewards. That's how the inner spirit or the mind might perceive the situation. So some of you could be dealing with something along those lines. Maybe what is next for you is this conundrum of, do I allow myself to start something very different while I figure out what I really want to do full time? To give an example that can be applied in the day-to-day, do I start a part-time while I figure out what I want to do full time? Or do I get a part-time job while I find a job in my profession and what I studied? Or while my career or business takes off? Or do I just, stay unemployed whilst I keep looking for the job of my dreams? That could be what is next for you, like deciding upon this. And honestly, with the horse here, I see a lot of you choosing something that you feel is right for you. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, because here the cards aren't necessarily telling me this is right or this is wrong. It's more like what feels right to you. You choosing the decision that you feel freed by. That you feel like, I have the freedom to choose. I have the freedom to move in a new direction if I want to. Because personally, I believe that is the whole point of what is next for you. An era in which you are not tied down to anything, so that you may freely explore and experiment. But based on what I have been interpreting so far, I feel like a lot of you will choose to do something on the side while you're still pursuing something else, or while you're still trying to figure something else. And I see this helping you a lot. I see this being something positive for you, or something that will be beneficial, if not now, in the long run. Yeah, look, and we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is the 10th major arcana. And the number 10 speaks about endings, conclusions, completions. And the Wheel of Fortune is often interpreted as the card of destiny or fate, but to me, the Wheel of Fortune represents choosing your own destiny, like charting your own course. So the Wheel of Fortune to me has this feeling of anything is possible and anything can happen. It all depends on you, what you choose to do, what you decide upon, and how you perceive a situation as well. You're the one spinning the wheel, spinning the thread. Yeah, so it's very much up to you. I feel like what is next for you is you choosing for yourself what direction the course of your life takes. It is up to you. And I feel like that's what the Fool was representing. So maybe you're focused on something, right now. Maybe you are doing something. And maybe it is something that you're quite interested in, but maybe you're not passionate about it. And if that's the case, the Wheel of Fortune is here to let you know, hey, just because you're doing this right now doesn't mean that this is the thing that you have to remain doing. You can pursue something else on the side, or you can change the direction of the course, because new doors will present themselves to you, especially if you go out looking for them. So things don't have to remain as they are if you don't want them to. So don't be afraid to pursue something because you're not sure if it's the thing for you. Pursue it, gain some experience from it, or let it show you, let it give you more clarity about what it is that you're interested in. What is a fit for you and what isn't. Knowing what we don't want gives us more clarity about what we do want. So let your experiences teach you. So the Wheel of Fortune does represent changes, and I feel like you're definitely going through some kind of change or transition. There's definitely an ending going on here, a new beginning, a clean slate, but Oh, and I just noticed this person here turning the wheel is an angel. So your angels are also working. If you believe in angels, your angels are also working with you to write this next chapter of your life. It feels like your angels or universe, your guides are creating opportunities for you based on what it is that you currently want or what it is that you're aiming for. So they're listening to you. And it feels like this is an unfoldment. So it's not so clear, like things are not laid out perfectly. Like there's no set timeline yet because things are unfolding as you're progressing, as you're moving, as your desires change, because I feel like there is going to be a change in desires, because for a lot of you, I feel like you haven't really yet figured out what it is that you want to pursue, what it is that you want to create possibly. So your angels are working with you as you go. It's like a genius in motion kind of thing. It's reminding me of Jack Sparrow, you know, like how he comes up with things as he goes. It's not pre-planned. So that's the feeling I'm getting with the Wheel of Fortune. Like anything can happen. So don't worry about trying to have everything planned out and or figured out right from the get-go, because you might change your mind later on, you know, or something might come up that might intrigue you and or interest you, and the plans will change. And that's kind of the feeling I'm getting with the Wheel of Fortune. Plans will change, but it's more because they are just unfolding. So relieve yourself of any pressure to already have your entire life planned out, because at this moment there is no real need for you to have already figured out or decided on what it is that you will be doing for the rest of your life. Since what is next is literally a period of discovery, growth, and exploration in which you are not exactly committing to anything and or settling down somewhere, so that you may be free to roam and explore. So don't be afraid to change directions and to venture into something new, since at least based on the cards, that is the point. And don't feel like you have to make a huge 180 when it comes to your entire life. It's okay to experience gradual changes. It's okay for you to experience a change in one area of your life while the other areas of your life are still looking pretty much the same or haven't experienced any drastic changes at all. Because there's this feeling of a domino effect, like one thing will lead to another. So a change in one area of life will trigger a change in another area of life, and so on. Yeah, and like I said, it does feel like one thing can lead to another. One venture, job, project, path you start on and maybe think nothing much of may very well kickstart your first or next business, passion project, your career, or even your profession. And the Wheel of Fortune is also indicating successfully completing something. So yeah, if you're currently working on a project or you're aiming to complete something, you will successfully do so. The Wheel of Fortune represents good luck. So I see fortune in your future. I feel like that is what is next for you. Things playing out nicely, you being at the right place at the right time, serendipitous events and or moments or experiences. Yeah, and it's reminding me of the Knight of Swords, how you will find yourself progressing very quickly or learning, picking up on something very quickly, excelling at something with much ease. Yeah, it feels like you're being divinely assisted. You know, this is also making me think of like a shift in timelines. Like jumping into a new timeline, taking a quantum leap. So there could be an opportunity to do so. Like anything is possible is the feeling I'm getting. Anything is possible. There aren't any blockages. What is next for you is, you know, you being free. You having open reign. You getting to choose where to run to. Like, it's reminding me of a wild horse on an open field. They can gallop wherever they want. There aren't any fences. They aren't being held back by anything. So what is next for you is you not being held back by anything. The only thing that can hold you back is you, honestly. Maybe limited beliefs. Because let's say even if you don't have the finances let's say, or maybe even the expertise or the experience, it feels like opportunities will come that will help you receive what it is that you need to open doors or to gain more opportunities for, for growth or for leveling up or for the experiences that you are needing. And I was going to mention something about communication and connection with the flattery card. So for a lot of you, you could even be presented with an opportunities to get closer and closer or to align with members of your soul family or like-minded people that you see eye to eye with, people that you connect with intellectually, maybe even people that you are meant to work with or create something with. And we have do something creative and play as often as you can. This will renew your energy. Yeah, and we have this person walking on this yellow path. So again, this makes me think of being on the right path or creating your own path, how your path is slowly unfolding right before you as you keep moving forward. Again, this message here is making me think of, having maybe a profession, having a main source of income, but then at the same time having something else on the side, something that is more for you, something that is more to allow creative expression, something that is more for pleasure, for fun. Because you can be both, right? That could be the duality as well. You can be an intellectual individual and be creative as well. You can be practical, logical, and creative and intuitive. You don't have to choose one over the other. You can be both. You can do both. And I feel like that's what you are embracing in this next chapter of your life. Oh, lastly, there will be a lot of short distance trips because it seems like you will be going out a lot to explore new places and visit new locations and so forth. Yeah, but things I want to point out before I end your reading, we have horses. Horses, as mentioned, could be of significance. We have canines, dogs, or the color white could be of importance, or a white animal maybe could be of importance as well. And I did mention air signs, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Also, the number 3 could be of significance. Maybe you are a life path number 3, or you were born on the 3rd of a month, or you were born on a year that ends with the number 3, or on March. And if so, that's just extra confirmation for some of you guys. Yeah, but these are all the messages I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or let them run in the background, since that is a simple way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. So thank you, Spirit. And yeah, this is all for now. I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching. And until the next moment, bye bye.